On Hydro One, again, if you have concerns about your hydro bill, you can contact our office for assistance in setting up a meeting between you and Hydro One officials. Arlene Miracle is our community liaison officer in my office, and she's there to provide assistance to you if needed and to arrange a meeting between you and Hydro One. We are also working to get Hydro One officials to hold another community meeting here. And once we are able to get a date from them, we will provide you more information. Also, we have staff on site here at Six Nations who are working with you to sign people up for the Ontario Electricity Support Program, which took effect January 1st. Everyone was receiving a clean energy benefit of 10% as up till the end of December, but that benefit has stopped, and now it has been replaced by the Ontario Electricity Support Program as of January 1. So that benefit's no longer there, and it may affect your hydro bills. The new Ontario Electricity Support Program is targeted for low-income families, and to take advantage of the new program, you must register. A delivery agent will also need to verify your income. Applications can also be made online. We do have 2 delivery agents available here at Six Nations who can help you do the registration or the application to receive this benefit. The 2 delivery agents are Donna Bomberry and Jen Miracle, and they are located at the Council Central Administration Office, and they will be here until March 31st, 2016 to help you. You can reach them at 519-445-2201. This program will be applicable throughout the province, and the key here is that you must apply, and it is geared to low-income families. And just a reminder to the elders that the elected council does have a senior relief fund in place, and it is administered by Ontario Works. If you need a new assistance with a new furnace or hydro bills or some other area, please contact Ontario Works and inquire about the senior relief fund. There is a criteria in place which you must meet, and there is a maximum amount that is allowed per year, and only once per year. But you know, it is something that we're doing to try and help the seniors in the community. I just want to update everybody a bit on some of the discussions we've been having with the City of Brantford. This past week, an announcement was made that the city and the county had reached an agreement on the boundary discussions and had signed a memorandum of understanding. Although we were not involved in the actual discussions, officials from both the city and the county did give us verbal briefings on what they have agreed to. We had wanted to be a part of the discussions, but they never asked us to be there. So anyway, they've agreed to extend the boundaries north a bit to Paris and then left toward, or east towards the Riverbend or the Tutela Heights area. And we view these whole boundary discussions as just the beginning of discussions with them. And we will continue to have further consultation and discussions separately with both the city and the county. There are some ideas that we have because Six Nations does need to be accommodated, and we have not explored them in depth yet, but we will be sitting down with both the city and the county to have further discussions on how Six Nations is going to be accommodated with respect to these boundary discussions. One good thing about the Tutela Heights area is that this will enhance the return we will realize on our partnership with Walton on the Riverbend project. You will remember that we just held community engagement sessions on the Riverbend project, and we'll be moving ahead. This area will now be in the city's jurisdiction, and the city's water and sewer services will be able to be accessed. As I said, we did have some community engagement sessions on this Riverbend project. And also just to let everyone know that the agreement between the city and the county on these boundary discussions will in no way have any effect on our outstanding land rights or any of the ongoing litigation cases that we have in place. On the federal building in Brantford, that's the place where the post office is and where Indian Affairs is, Public Works Canada has served notice that they will be selling the federal building in Brantford. And the city has indicated that they are interested in purchasing it. Six Nations Council has informed the federal government, the Public Works Department, that we must be duly accommodated, consulted and accommodated before any transfer of this building takes place. At our initial meeting, they seemed to think that all they had to do was notify us, and we reminded them of Supreme Court of Canada cases, which says that any First Nation affected must be duly consulted and accommodated. I've already brought this to the attention of the new Minister of Indigenous Affairs, and we're going to continue to press for meetings on this before that building is transferred to anybody. On the West Street property, you may recall that a few years back we were left some land on West Street in Brantford some time ago, and the city kept sending us tax bills, which we refused to pay. And eventually they had said that they were going to put the property up for a tax sale because we hadn't paid the property taxes, which were now up to $46,000. We were, informed that this was a prime piece of real estate in the city, and we wanted to keep it. So, under duress, we did pay the $46,000 property taxes, but we're now working with the federal government, or the provincial government, sorry, to try and get this back, trying to get the money back, but also trying to get that particular piece of property exempt from taxation, or exempt from property tax. I think prior to Mike Harris being the premier, there was an exemption for First Nations in the provincial legislation, but when he became premier, he removed that exemption. So we're now working with the province to try and get that exemption back in place. And this is an issue that was brought up with the premier when we met with her during the days in the legislature in November, and she agreed that her and her ministers would look at this issue and try and get that exemption in place. So this is an area that we're going to keep pushing on. And in the meantime, the city continues to send us tax bills, but we're not paying them. As everyone knows, we are involved in the Mohawk Lake Working Group too, which is put in place to clean up the lake. And further to that, we want to have discussions about any long-term plans or visioning for that whole area. The old site where Cockshit Park or Cockshit Farms was is also being cleaned up and being remediated. And I think there are some long-term plans about how we can improve that whole area and make it a high-profile tourist area. So I'm going to call a meeting of some of the staff at Woodland Cultural Center, some of the residential school survivors, and Mohawk Chapel, and others, and we're going to sit down and let's have a brainstorming session about what we at Six Nations would like to see in that whole Mohawk Greenwich Lake district, with respect to tourism, and how we can help promote Six Nations in there. So that'll be coming up soon, and as we move along, and if anybody's got any ideas, just let us know, and as we get more information, we'll be giving that out. Over in December, there have been some companies in the community who've been knocking on doors and asking people to see their hydro bills and trying to get them to sign up for their service. One was, I can't remember, I think it was Summit Energy, and then there's another one I've just heard about, which is Just Energy. Now, you don't need to talk to these people, and I think they've been zeroing in particularly on our elders. If anyone shows up at your door trying to get you to buy a service from them or a product, you have the right to ask them to get a letter, to show you a letter of approval that they have received from the elected council. If they do not have that letter, they do not have approval from us to solicit, and you can tell them to leave and call the police and ask the police to escort them off the territory. If by chance you may have signed up unknowingly with them and got into a contract and now want to get out of it, please contact our office and we'll see if we can help you get out of that contract if you were forced, I guess, under duress to sign up because of the pressure of these people. But just remember, they have to have approval from council before they can be knocking on your doors trying to sell you stuff.